Hello, everyone, and welcome to the back nine of round number one, the 2023 Big Arm Challenge. We're at Vista del Camino playing the XXL layout. That's a little more my size. We've got Ricky Wysocki here on the mic again. This is our feature card. Beautiful Saturday afternoon here in early December. And Rick, Parker Welck seems to be setting the pace. 6 under. That's the best start out of all 50 competitors here in our opening round.
Yeah, it's awesome to see him playing well. He's kind of had a breakout season this year. He played really well at the Dynamic Disc Open, and he showed the world what he's made of. He can pull it off and win tournaments. So he's showing that today, and we're starting off here on hole 10. We're starting off with a par 5, 1,026 feet, and this is navigating through the meat of this course here at Vista. I think this is taking up like 2 or 3 holes. And so great hole, and it's awesome to see the Desert Flyers utilizing this property. As you can see, this Vista del Camino course is awesome. Lots of trees, lots of water, and we get to watch AB throw rollers and bomb air shots. How much better does it get than this?
Yeah, 1,026 feet, as you said, and AB put this one up in the air.
I think he hit Mercury on that shot and came back.
Chasing away a few of the wildlife, ducks and geese and other things that are out there. We saw blue herons. We've seen everything on this course, which is kind of cool.
I can't tell you how many times I've played the course and seen like a cat head or something from a coyote shredding it.
That's morbid, but okay.
Yeah, it's crazy. There's lots of coyotes out there as well. And here goes Gossage with the roller. Let's see if this curls back. He's flirting with that road. And looks like he's on the road and curling back. As again, we see Gossage with some crazy action at the end of his roller. I don't know what he does to get his rollers to roll like that, but it's pretty fun to watch, no doubt about that.
Yeah, and as we've been talking about, this XXL layout takes away some of the Mandos we're used to seeing, as that actually hits the fence post and then kicks hard right. They're going to have a conversation about that. But it takes away some of the Mandos, and it gives just more space for players to get creative. It could bring more things into play, maybe a little bit more with competitors, but it gives you a chance to air things out.
Yeah, I think as a player, people really like that. It's kind of a fun tournament that you don't have to stress too much about OBs and all this stuff, and I think that's what people like. And wow, look at Dylan's shot. That's cool. He got every ounce of rotation out of that possible, so that was cool.
You came here, and you like...
The OB line goes so far that way, so I want to take it out over there.
Did it hit a flag or the pole? I think it looked like it hit a flag, right?
No, I for sure hit the pole.
Okay.
Right here on this pole. But if you guys don't think that's the case, then I can take it from here.
I think it looked like it was going straight into the wall, but it might have crossed here. I don't know.
Would you rather take it from here?
So quite a conversation. It actually went on for quite a bit longer than that. But as to where he went out, what he maybe hit, and that I leave it in there because I want you guys to know when there's indecisiveness like that, the whole group gets together and has to then talk it out and come to somewhat of an agreement as to how it's going to get played and the spot that's going to get used. And we saw him then barely leak right OB again. So Parker certainly in trouble after such a great start.
Yeah, and this hole is as you can see there, Dylan got up there for a putt. You can definitely eagle this hole if you throw a good enough drive off the tee. And here's Gossage after his crazy roller. Looks like he's going with some sort of mid-range or something. And that looks like a really good shot. He goes actually past the basket on this 1,000-foot par 5. So he's going to have about a 20-footer just from right and long, 25-footer, something like that. And AB's probably going to grab. Oh, he's going with a nice smooth, probably Raptor or zone. Looks like looks like a Raptor. And nice forehand.
This is a chip shot.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
Well, as you can see, AB's bombing these rollers. And, he's got a 20-foot eagle putt. And Parker's, went double OB, so he's going to gain some serious strokes potentially.
And you see that he's out of bounds by less than a meter, so he'll bring it back inbounds. And so he's gotten good distance. He got all of the distance before going out of bounds on both of the throws. So that is good, but certainly long range here, and then still hits a tree.
Yeah, so it's not this hole is obviously, even this course is not wide open. As much as it's in a city park, there are good enough trees to make you think about shots, and I think that's what people like about Vista, is it makes you think enough, but it's not like trees everywhere. Good save. See, that stopped the bleeding there big time.
Yeah, that was for a bogey, though, to think that he had to work that hard. Hole 10, here's the crazy part. top-played as the easiest hole on the course relative to par. And we just watched our leader take a bogey on it. Now,
Goss still struggling. Looks like he just can't find his release right now. And I was actually just putting with him in the backyard at my house. So after this putting display, he is putting in the work to get better, and I'm sure he will by the time the 2024 season rolls around.
Yeah, that is heartbreaking. He's going to turn that into a 3-putt, and we've seen at least one of those earlier in the round.
They call them birdogies when you're putting for a birdie and they get a bogey. What do you call an eagle to a what is it, a par?
I don't know. I'll have to get more creative and think about that one.
Exactly.
But there's an eagle that we see from Barela. So taking full advantage, 1,026 feet, and he's going to walk away, picking up 3 strokes on Parker on that one hole.
Yeah, looks like he actually passed him up, right? AB's at 7 under now. Is that what it says?
Yeah.
And Parker's at 5. So AB really made a move on that hole, and he's been sneakily working his way back after a couple missed short putts on the front 9.
Yeah, 7 under through 10. And there's going to be a long walk, and this one people really haven't seen before. And some people never want to see it again.
This is a tough hole. As you can see, going over the water, a lot of people are going to be taking this wide hyzer to the right-hand side, but you have the water and you have the sidewalk, and you have a tiny, like I would say, 20-foot landing strip of safe land. And even if you're safe, you have a death putt and baskets, 10 feet from the water. So AB's going to go with this right side hyzer. Oh, wow. He hits the light pole and goes straight into the water. He's laughing because
well, there was a conversation about where a Mando gets played. What is the Mando? How do you do it? And AB's just like, well, I'm just going to drill the Mando pole and then kick it straight out of bounds. So big-time trouble coming for AB, knowing he's so far back, and he still has this very tiny landing strip, as you called it.
Definitely. And Dylan went with a safe forehand just to try to get a par, which on this hole is a great play. And Gossage is going with a flex shot here. Wide right. That's kind of got to hook up in order for it to be safe. Looks like it went wide. Okay, that went wide right and long. So he's going to have a very sketchy bogey or par putt with a very close OB. Whoop, looked like Vista. He got visted.
Yeah.
A biker. We call that getting Vista. There's constantly bikers and people singing. I've heard it all at Vista. There's this guy that sings opera and walks around the course and he's just singing opera, and it's pretty cool, but it's not when you're in a tournament and you're trying to focus on a shot. But
I mean, if you're old enough, you're thinking Opera Man by Adam Sandler.
I think that's what he's singing. But yeah, if you play Vista enough, you'll know who I'm talking about for sure.
Well, a safe shot from Welck to keep himself in bounds, and now AB still has a ton of work to do. He hasn't progressed more than 50 feet down the fairway, so to speak.
Yeah, and he's throwing another bomb hyzer. This is basically a whole nother par 3 just to get up and down. And he is wide again. And as you can see, that wind is blowing left to right, and that water's to the left. So as you can see, that basket's 10 foot across on that little landing strip. OB on both sides.
So Parker's going to set up. He's going to go left, and you just called it. There's the wind blowing from left to right, and that just kind of got underneath it and carried him out of bounds. I'm not a top level professional, but I would have loved to see him go with the hyzer on that and play into it a little bit.
The thing about that shot is if he's throwing the shot that he did, you have to almost feel like you're literally throwing it right in the water and rely on the wind to blow it back safe.
Sure.
And that's the problem is as a professional, it's hard to get yourself to throw it that close to the water when normally that's a bad shot. But when the wind is up like this, you kind of have to in order to play the wind correctly. And Dylan's playing this hole picture perfect. He's going to walk away with a par as everyone else is kind of going all over the place.
Everybody's struggling. So hole 10 is the easiest hole on the course. Hole 11 by far the most difficult hole, and AB knows exactly what I'm talking about. That would be ultimately a tap in for triple, I believe, coming up for AB, maybe even a quad. It's been tough.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, as you see, this hole is almost like a par 4, I would say. I would say it plays more like a par 4 than a par 3 as opposed to how people score on it.
Well, I'll tell you this. AJ was literally the only player in 50 people. AJ Gastelum was the only birdie.
That proves my point. It's more of a par 4 than a par 3. And that, too, feels like an eagle almost because of how windy and how challenging that is.
This is also unique. On hole number 12, we kind of have to walk backwards to get to this tee spot. And then fences come into play, hills come into play, everything here.
Yeah, no, this is a really cool design. You saw the fencing that can get in the way. And once again, you got the Vista slope with the right side sidewalk. Left side is there's sidewalks on both sides, I should say. And Dylan's going with the flex shot, and he's going to have to sit down or he's going to go over this fence. Okay, so he's good. He went past the fence, and he's going to have a pretty solid chance to get up and down from there. And we're probably going to see Aaron and AB trying to bomb something up there and getting some sort of long look at it. He's throwing a super high flex shot. And it looks like...
Same
result.
result.
He's in that tree. Okay, yeah. Same spot as Dylan, so they're kind of in that little collection area.
Yeah, it looked like he just got the nose up. And
Parker looks like he got through a similar shot, but he got the nose down, so he's going to go a lot more forward than up. So he's probably going to go further. Yeah, he went way further than Aaron did, and that's simply because he just got the nose angle down when Aaron got it up. And he got an extra 100 feet because of it almost.
Yeah, beautiful shot. AB, well, okay.
He's throwing a moon shot here. And we'll see how he can hit the angle. If he can get the angle right, which is obviously really hard to do when you're throwing that high. So it looks like he went past the fence. That's a pretty bad break because normally if you roll into the fence, you'll hit the fence and stop. He went past the fence and actually rolled out of bounds. And Gossage throwing a nice forehand into the hill. Nice. That's solid shot there. Very well played into the hill, controlling the speed. Dylan's looking to throw a very similar shot. And that seems like his kind of cup of tea, throwing those flex forehands.
Yeah, that one kind of hooked up late and maybe sawed it off just a little. That's going to give him a tester putt, so to speak. Parker. And now this should be just, I don't want to say easy, but he really put himself in good position.
Yep. And he threw a nice smooth putter shot, and he's probably got a 20-footer. And here's AB's drive after going OB. He still has a look for birdie. That's kind of what AB does. He throws such a long shot. Sit. Ooh. So he's good. He's got so much power that on these par fours, he can throw it out of bounds and still have a birdie putt, which is pretty crazy. Where most people, if they're throwing out of bounds, they're getting a par at best.
Yeah, and Dylan was stepping up and ready to go very quickly, so I actually missed the release, but he ended up going onto the sidewalk and out of bounds. And now we have Gossage here. This is to save his... to pick a birdie. Yeah,
that was a good shot. That was a good putt. You got the Vista crowd walking in the background.
Yeah.
And, he's been struggling, so it's good to see him maybe gain a little confidence from that putt. Dylan he short-armed that uphill putt. He just he missed the starting point. When you're going uphill like that, you almost have to feel like you're putting over the basket, and then that'll be chain high by the time it gets there. AB sneaks one in, saves his par after going out of bounds, which, he's the ultimate bomb and gouge player. He bombs it out there, and he finds ways to score even when he goes out of bounds, and that's the beauty of being able to throw as far as he does.
Yeah, you're looking at 4.34 is how that whole average. So it was over par by more than a third of a stroke. So not too mad with a par, and we see the birdies by both Parker along with Gossage. As we head over hole number 13, this is what we normally would call hole number 8, except for instead of playing it dead straight, we played to an even tinier green off to this left side. I don't know if this is necessary. This feels punishing. But, it's a much more challenging shot, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I think this hole is actually a really solid hole. Like you said, it's a lot more it's tough. There's no doubt about it. You just got to have perfect angle control. You got to control your angle. You got to control your speed really well. And that's what Aaron's going. He's looking to go wide, bringing in from right to left. And he is short. So it's hard to take it straight at it because it's easy to go across that sidewalk long because your disc doesn't want to sit. So they're all taking this wide right. They're kind of playing it safe. And as you can see, the other basket over there, that's not the basket we're going to.
No, but it definitely is a good reference point that if you throw it there, then you have a relatively easy approach, even though it's kind of a skinny green.
Yep.
But you need to at least throw it the distance of the original pin. Here's AB.
Yeah, and you would, and they're all going to this right side, as you can see, because if you're going straight at it, it's just so easy to go long. There you go. AB played them pretty solid. That's pretty much perfect. That's where you want to land. High percentage. A lot bigger of a green, big space over there to land. And Dylan's going with that similar shot as AB. That looks pretty solid. That should skip into hopefully a similar spot as AB's. Yep, that's money. That's very money. So he's going to be about 35, 40 left, not too much water to deal with.
I was going to say maybe even a better angle than AB's. AB has the water directly in play. Now, funny enough, someone said that I feel like this drop zone is more difficult than the tee shot.
Yeah, it looks like it definitely. And that looks like a great shot. Looks like he's got about a 25-footer to save his bogey, which this hole just puts a premium on landing safe because if you're OB, you're scrambling for a bogey at best. And Parker's just probably going to play it smart, which is very, very good idea.
Yeah, there's not much you can do from over there. Dylan giving it a run, and it slides in. So Dylan, who started off really, really hot and solid through the first few holes, now has cooled off somewhat. AB, though, look.
Yeah, this is a great shot. He went long, which is where you want to go, but then you're putting right at the water. And that was a great putt from AB. That's something he's been really getting a lot better at this year. He's just been making more and more putts, and that's why he's scoring so well and playing so consistently at the top. And that's what he was lacking the years past. But he's getting the hang of it, really dialing in. Here's Gossage. Whoops. He is just struggling to find his release. I think he's just kind of guessing at how the putter is going to come out of your hand, and you can see the result of that. Yeah, he's just not confident. He's guessing at his release point, and he can tell this is all just simply he doesn't have enough practice with his putting style that he's using right now. And there he goes again. And,
I don't mean to laugh, but your chuckle makes me chuckle. I mean, this is painful. I mean, Gossage is clearly one of the top players in the game, and we just watched him with that 4-putt. And what resonates inside of you is, the basket doesn't keep that one in for Parker. That's a heartbreaker. That one should have stayed. But what resonates inside of you when you're seeing one of your fellow competitors struggle like that?
Yeah, it's just when you change, like I always say, you change something like that whether it's your driving swing or putting swing, you're gonna have times where you feel like you don't know what you're doing, and you just it just comes down to practice. Gossage is gonna practice every day, all day, getting his putt dialed. But he's probably only a couple weeks into his new putting style, if that. And so he's taking this time right now. He's paying the price right now, missing a lot of putts, but he knows in the long run when you stick with something like that you're going to be able to master it and put it in the work. And we got hole 14 here now. It's a par 4, and this is a great hole. This is over the water. This is the big boy shot here, and AB is going to hopefully show us exactly how to throw it. It's a bomb hyzer flex over top of these trees on the right-hand side, and he's going to want to fade back. Looks like he clipped something early and dropped.
I'm not sure he put enough turn on that.
Yep.
It looked like it was too much hyzer out of his hand.
Yeah, you want to flex it if you can throw the backhand. Flex a little more than AB did. And Parker's going with this safe hyzer forehand, which is a very solid play, tournament play. And he's going to just chip over to the right, and that's a solid shot.
So this is similar to what we would see, for a memorial layout, except for it's actually pushed back just a few feet. It is always argued, is it a par 3 or is it a par 4? Because you only see a couple of 2s on it. And now we've pushed it back a few feet, and we're playing it as a par 4. But it's a relatively soft par 4.
Yeah,
right?
It's like a par 3.5, I would say.
Yeah.
It's a type of hole where it's like too easy to be a par 4, too hard to be a par 3.
Yeah.
So I think that's why they moved it back a little bit to try and make it more of a par 4. And so I think that part's good. Parker hits the guardian tree, so now that leaves him at about 45. So that's going to be a tester for his birdie.
Yeah, that was Dylan. No, you're good.
Sorry.
That was Dylan. And Parker is out in the open here, though. And this is just a routine chip. And you're not mad if you take a 3 here. And that looked like that's what he was playing off the tee.
Yeah.
Where he threw it.
Yeah, you can't be mad if you're playing for the 3, and that's what you get. You got to be happy with that. And there goes Gossage just laying up. He's trying to get as close as possible right now. You can tell that.
Trying to keep the putting out of the equation. Yep. And now AB, is lined up here. I'm surprised to see him lining up kind of the Anheuser, because that can happen.
Yeah.
He gets aggressive. It hits the tree and kicks straight into the water. And I just think, man, if you just pitch it up there for the easy 3 and don't even think about the eagle, you don't throw it out of bounds.
Yeah, he was just trying to get hyper aggressive. He was trying to give himself a run at making that. And as you know, the better you get at disc golf, you want to make everything. And we're greedy. He wants to make a lot of birdies. He wants to make eagles. And so he wanted that one, and he definitely paid the price. So let's see if he can kind of salvage his mistake here. Oh, and he just misses short. He's very upset, as you can see, because he's that mistake definitely compounded.
Yeah, I mean, he turned an eagle bid that was a guaranteed birdie now all into a bogey. And you just can't do that out here.
Yep, no, especially on a hole like this where, like you said, he was only 100 feet away, could have easily just chipped it up. And that's kind of where greed gets you sometimes.
Those dang frat boys
Yeah.
or something. I don't know if that factors in, but
I think Pi Kappa. That's his. That's his frat in ASU. Yep.
Okay.
So yep.
We know who to blame then.
Yeah.
Maybe some of that encouragement he gets from the rest of the boys. And Parker's been the MVP here. This quick stick has been doing some work.
Yeah, he's willing to grab his competitive disc out of the water anytime, I'm sure.
Yeah. Like, here,
Especially when he's winning.
let me help you with that.
Uh-huh.
And Parker, pretty exciting. We're seeing him now in Arizona. I believe he's transitioned over to the Arizona. I was going to say the Sunshine State. That's Florida, but
the sun.
The plenty of sun
here.
here. Exactly.
Parker's here. Me, Drew, AB, Adam comes out here a lot. And, there's a lot of pros that come out here and practice. As you can see, the weather is great all the time. Hole 15, there's a par 4, and you can see the baskets by the parking lot. It's definitely a two-shot hole. You're not going to be seeing any eagle putts on this hole, that's for sure. So it looks like Parker's going to play this shot and then go throw a second shot over that water that you can see there. So we'll probably see multiple different ways to play this hole. Depending on what people's strong suits are.
Yeah, and we've really never seen this outside of the Big Arm Challenge. This hole is traditionally played down and to the right about 650 feet for the last 20 years or whatever of the Memorial. So to see them play to the edge and then throw over is a completely different look.
Yeah, and Dylan's taking this middle route, which is where you see normally people throw for the Memorial positioning. And he's throwing a good shot. You kind of want to throw up towards that lake's edge and then throw across. AB's he's throwing a thumber, it looks like. Just taking all the trees out of play. And that looks like a good shot. That's right where you want to land.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I was not expecting it. I guess is that his way to kind of limit and say, hey, I'm for sure not going to throw it deep because he can't get to the water, with a thumber? Or?
Yeah, I think that's definitely part of his strategy is he knows that, hey, if I throw a thumber way up in the air, I know that I can only throw a thumber 300 feet or 350, and the OB, let's say, is 400. So he knows he's not going to reach that, which is very important when you're playing course management on a hole like this.
I want to say Gossage told me this was about 445 to the pin, and that came out low, but it barely creeps over, and he's going to find himself in bounds and a birdie look.
That was a great shot. As you can see, it's hard to land short because there's OB, so you kind of want to land long of the basket. Looks like AB is going to be throwing a wide hyzer, and hopefully a hyzer's back sometime soon because that's too straight. Okay, so he is safe.
Yeah, pushes the backside of the green, but still he's on the dance floor. He's got a long putt, so he's safe.
This is a very stereotypical Pro Tour par 4. A two-shot hole that you're having to throw a crush over OB the entire way. And if you don't control your angle or distance, you're going to get punished hard. And looks like he sneaks in and lands safe barely. There's that OB pinches off right there. And Parker sneaks his shot in, and he'll have a nice look for birdie there. Dylan decided to lay up, try to play for his par, which looks like it might be a good decision. Oh, yeah, barely creeped in. And so he should have about a 20-footer for a par, which on this hole, as you can see, lots of trouble. That is not a bad score.
Yeah, getting to the green so difficult here, but now AB has his birdie luck, but not able to convert.
Yep, it's pretty windy out there. As you saw when his putter landed, the dust blew up, and he had a pretty strong wind here. And Parker's got not much to worry about as far as trouble by the basket. But, yeah, he still had about a 50-footer, 50, 60-footer. And Aaron's got the best birdie luck here of the group. And he's still putting like not very good right now. I would say putting like Aaron, but he doesn't normally putt like this. So, but yeah, I can guarantee you guys you're gonna see a better putt out of Aaron when it comes to 2024 Disc Golf Pro Tour tournaments. We'll put it that way. So he's getting all the bad putts out now.
Are you nervous?
I am starting to get nervous for Aaron right now. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm starting to get anxiety and sweaty fingers. Oh man, we've all been there, so we can all relate to him, and I know he'll snap out of that.
Yeah, kind of just frustrating. Aaron, also one of only 2 champions at this tournament. Aaron Gossage, along with Anthony Barela in the first 3 years. AB's taken it down twice, and Gossage the 1 year in between. So Barela comes in as your reigning champ at the moment, and we're seeing everyone tap in. This played as the 3rd most difficult hole on the course, just 2 birdies out of the entire field, Hunter Hall and Jordan Castro. the only 2 birdies as we head over to hole number 16. This looks similar to what we normally see.
Yeah, so this is the, similar to the normal regular XL layout out here at Vista. And you got this pinched off fairway coming down with a sloped side hill green. And that brings us to the basket location up in this back right corner out here at Vista. And once again, you got a sloped green, you got OB on both sides. And this really tests your drive to land it nice and flat with not too much hyzer, because otherwise you're going to skip OB left. So it looks like Parker's done that. He got a pretty good skip. As you can see, that short grass out here at Vista really makes for a very skippy fairway. And Gossage is going with a nice flex shot. You kind of want to carry it over that sidewalk that he's at right now, and he's fading off of it. Yeah, so that's money. That is a perfect spot. You'll probably see AB throw a nice wide hyzer at this white building, and he's going to, he's kind of aimed at that white building, and now he's fading way off back left towards the fairway. And that's a great shot. He's just spiked right in the middle, and he didn't skip. So that's going to be more in the middle. And those trees, the more you go left, the farther you're pinched off. But if you land more in the middle of the fairway, like where Dylan and AB land, you're going to have more of a straight at it with less tree trouble. So, yeah, he's in the middle and didn't skip as far left as Aaron and Parker. Oh, it looks like he burned over his forehand. That's kind of what he did on the other hole, that his disc was really close to the out of bounds. Seems like he's having that when he pulls out his distance drivers. It seems like he's having that trouble.
Yeah, we saw that back on hole number 5, and now Parker.
Ooh, he looks like he's turned that way over. He's way out of bounds on this shot. This is not even close.
No. No.
He's going to play volleyball, not disc golf.
Had some beach volleyball action.
Yeah.
That's going to be a mistake, big-time mistake for Parker. Now, Gossage will step up.
Similar shot, and that looks really wide as well, but that might skip off of the grass and the sidewalk back safe, and he does. That is an amazing shot. As you saw, you had to carry that over OB the entire way and skip back, at the very last minute. So that was a really good shot.
Yeah, that's going to leave him about 40, maybe 45 with a long look at birdie. This hole, second most difficult hole on the course.
I was going to say, if I had to guess, this would probably play as one of, if not the hardest hole out here.
And that comes in.
Is that in?
No. Well, there's going to be a lengthy conversation.
Okay.
We're going to let you guys actually hear it. And they talked about the path and beyond being out of bounds. The question is, where exactly does the path start and end? And I'm going to step in as we're seeing Dylan go out of bounds. His is clearly OB, but here's a conversation that takes place right after Parker's throw.
And he's thrown after he went out of bounds wide. And he
so this
looks
is
like
dangerous.
He's wide again, but he might skip back. Oh, so he hit the sidewalk. Oh, you got to hold your breath out here, Vista. You never know what's going to happen. All these sidewalks and slopes and all that stuff.
Yeah, and Dylan, who I said was clearly out of bounds, he pulls that one.
Oh, that was a good pole hit there. That was going out of bounds, and he smacked that and bounced back safe. So that was one of the few times the poles save you. Normally it does the opposite.
Exactly. AB is uncertain as to where his disc is up ahead and if it's in bounds or not, so he calls a provisional and plays from where he thinks he's gone out of bounds.
Okay.
And now they get to the actual spot where the disc comes to rest here after we see that approach.
Okay.
See what they say about it.
My issue is that back there, if it was like this, I would get it to it. Does that make sense?
You can see right here, there's a clear path.
There's just not a clear rock here. If his disc looked like this back where he threw his upshot, I would call him safe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, what does it turn rock? Right there?
Keep digging. It's looking like it's going to be safe.
I would call that dirt, right? Yeah. So I would call it safe. What do you guys think? I mean, I don't want to monopolize any opinions here. This is sketchy.
It's just tough because the back there it has a shoulder.
Yeah, exactly. But my thought is, if his disc was exactly like that back there, I would call it safe because there's that section of dirt before you get to the concrete.
What does the marking say or whatever? Does it say rocks?
It says path.
Path OB, but rocks are safe.
Does not say anything about rocks. It just says path. Sidewalk and path are OB. Cross is OB. What do you call that?
Because there's no shoulder right here.
There's no, like,
shoulder.
concrete.
It's like kind of.
There's no path. It's not even it's not a path at this point. This is gravel.
Right, but I mean, a path has to be somewhere.
Is this
So we've got one for in, one for out. Parker, do you have an opinion?
I guess the benefit should probably go to him. Just because there's not really a mark, right?
Technically, not to be a rules official,
Okay.
you have to make a decision whether you think he's in or out. You can't just say like benefit goes to him. You have to be like one way or the other.
Okay, then.
But if you're undecided, then you could say I think it's in. But technically, you have to make a decision one way or the other.
Yeah, I would think it'd have to be in at this point.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think we got 2 ins, 1 out. I think it goes to him, and that is the rule. That's the benefit of the doubt rule.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So a lengthy conversation. Also, these guys just trying to show off their beautiful Ideo shoes, a few of them. But ultimately, he's going to be ruled in bounds and doesn't convert. All of that just to not make the putt. Come on, AB.
That would have been one of the few birdies I would imagine on this hole.
Yeah, in fact, I'm going to spoil it for you. There was one during round 1.
Let's see if it's Aaron. Oh,
No.
I was hoping it was Aaron.
Yes, that would have been a good cliffhanger, but
Yeah.
no. So just one birdie here on hole 16. So 852 feet with this longer pin provides plenty of challenge. Gossage coming back.
And that's kind of been his miss, is short left, and that's just a non-committal. You know, he's not confident with his movements right now, and he's just, he's paying the price on the putting green.
And Parker, after the OB shot, still manages a bogey, which you're not really mad about. So let me know what you guys think. Do you like seeing rules and conversations unfold? We've got a pair of Ideo shoes that we're going to be giving away at some point this weekend, so you're going to be eligible once you enter some comments.
Looks like they got some cool color options for the Ideo shoes. Got orange, you got white. Yeah. Diverse colors. You match a lot of outfits with that, that's for sure.
All about that swag. Big shout out to our friends at Ideo, Craig and crew.
Look at that shot. That is really cool. That's the top of the world on steroids, it looks like. Didn't
Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
And we're going to head over to hole number 17, just 2 left to play. This was a new tee that we've seen, actually, kind of debuted in the last few months at the Memorial and at the Shelly Sharpe. And, well, they call it a big boy tee for a reason.
Yeah, it's a big boy shot. You're going up over this gunite, they call it. That's the rocks there. And then it takes you, hopefully, if you can throw it far enough, onto this grass green area. AB's got plenty of distance, so it's just all about the angle control with him. And looks like he might have actually leaked this out a little bit left, so he's going to have to sit down and hopefully not skip. And he gets a skip, and he lands in that gunite area. And that's kind of what we're talking about as far as if you don't hit the angle right or throw it far enough, you're going to be landing in there. And you'll probably see Parker throw it to the right a little bit more. Yeah, so he's gliding out, throwing a little bit more understable, and playing that right side fairway / green over there. And yeah, he's going to be long of the basket, about 60 feet or so, but he's safe.
And this philosophy on this hole being a par 4 kind of feels somewhat similar to, is it a really soft par 4? Is it a very difficult par 3? We've seen them scored both ways in the past, and right now we're seeing it as a 4.
No, there's a great shot from Gossage. He threw it inside of Parker's shot, and he's got about a 40-footer, I would say, back at the OB. But like what Terry was saying, it's kind of like an in-between par 3 / par 4. And they went with the par 4, which I can see that. Which normally a par 4, 444 feet, is kind of short. But this one is kind of well-deserving, I would say, because of how tough it is. AB just skips off the top, and looks like he's going to be getting a par save from there.
Yeah, I know there was a big conversation about, could this be pushed back? Should this be, maybe have another 50 or 100 feet of distance on it in order to make this a more difficult par 4? And that's certainly a conversation that could be had as well.
Yeah, and you can see Dylan laid up his shot on this par 4, and so that just shows you how hard it is. And I think that's okay to have a drivable par 4 on a course every once in a while, which is you see it in ball golf. You see holes that top players and top pros can reach. And I think that's kind of what this is it's the distance you can reach, but it's also got risk reward, like you saw with AB. He can reach it, but he didn't, and he went out of bounds, and he's got to scramble for a par. And Dylan played the safe route, and he tried to get his par, but he looks like he is going to actually try to get his birdie, but he's going to get a par since it's a par 4. And then Gossage did make his eagle, so he threw a great shot and got paid off and finally got one in the basket. So it's good to see him finish off strong.
Barela, in less than enthusiastic form, managed to tap in. He's going to walk away with the par 4. And Parker here, short range.
Oh, that's pushed a little bit to the right on that putt.
Not something we've seen from him. Quite honestly, we haven't seen any putting errors from Parker during this round. He had the one a few holes back where it slipped out and it looked like the basket really should have kept it in and it didn't, but his puttings look solid, so he's going to have to settle for a par here, and it certainly doesn't feel like one to him.
No, not after he threw his drive safe and had a long look. 3 putting from 80 feet is never what you want. Looks like I'm sponsoring hole 18 here. We got 825-foot par 4, and this is going backwards to the flow of the course that it normally does for the Vista single XL layout. And as you can see, we got a nice tunnel, lots of trees, we got sidewalks, we got roads, and that makes for good out of bounds for this nice green that's protected right by this tree. So this is kind of cool. We got Gossage here. He's probably going to throw some sort of Annie flex shot. And yeah, he's got a nice Annie out of his hand release, and he looks like he hit that one tree. And you do have a Mando. That is a Mando, and they're going to have to go left of it, so it forces players to go left, throw a left to right shot. Just like AB here. And there is a sidewalk and a lake towards the left-hand side where AB's kind of fading back to right now. So we're going to see how close he gets to that, and he goes across the sidewalk. And as you can see, that comes into play if you don't hit your angle, your Annie angle enough, and it fades out, you're going to land in that OB area.
Parker's trying to split the trees here, and it looks like that's going to be a pretty good job of it. He may also push toward the sidewalk. He gets a play off of it, and it actually sits down in bounds. So big drive there for Parker. And I got to say, a big shout out. Curtis was out there getting drone previews. I think he did them a weekend before, and then there was a few adjustments. So this hole actually did move to the left from where you saw it in the drone preview, but still 825 feet and playing down this fairway. It's just a slightly different pin position. So big shout out, though. Thank you, Curtis, for the drone previews.
As you can see, some of these players are struggling. The trees are lined with lots of trees all along the right-hand side, and as you can see, the lake and the road on the left. So there's a lot of variables on this hole, and I think that's what makes it such a great finishing hole here. And Gossage just kind of taking his medicine and playing for a par. And Dylan's trying to throw a great shot to get himself a long look after. Okay, that would look like a really good shot from where he was.
The pathway that plays through that Dylan actually just skipped over, I believe is playing as a river. And so if you land directly in the path, I'm pretty sure that you're considered out of bounds if that's the only thing you're in is the path. So just another factor out there as AB will have a look for his par.
And Parker, after he threw the best shot of the group for sure. And he's really hopefully looking to get up there inside the circle and give himself a chance at this birdie. And he just parks it. That was a great way to finish. He looks like he's going to at least take a one-stroke lead over AB to finish. And, yeah, that's how you want to finish. After that missed putt on 17 from Parker, he's going to get a stroke back here and potentially take the lead on AB.
Comes up just short of the tree, gets caught up by the tree. And as we start to close things out here on 18, big shout-out, Ricky Wysocki joining me for the commentary. Really appreciate it. And also big shout-out to our friends at the Desert Flyers and all of the crew that makes everything possible out here. And I got to thank Dan and Robin and Boyd, my First Light crew, taking care of me every time I come to Arizona, in addition to the hospitality by one Wysocki, as AB is checking out, unfortunately, and it looks like it's going to be a tough finish for him.
Yep, it looks like he's going to spot Parker 2 strokes now instead of 1 that it looked like coming down the stretch. And looks like Gossage got a good stroke going there on 18. It's good to get a nice confident stroke to finish the round. He needed that.
And these guys are going to close out. So that's round 1. Like, share, subscribe, do all the YouTube things. Leave us a comment. You got a chance to win some shoes. Parker is going to find himself on the lead card. He's going to be just 1 stroke off of our leader, and that will all take place on Championship Sunday. For Ricky Wysocki, I'm the Disc Golf Guy. We'll see you guys during Sunday's round with Andrew Miranda, Max Nichols, Parker Welck, and Jordan Castro. All that action right here on the Disc Golf Guy channel. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, Terry.